valuable players on this Howland ball club. The Tigers 2-1 on the 1984 campaign coming into the ball game. Jack Pearson, of course, after a 3-year hiatus at Niles McKinley, back at the helm of the Howland Tigers, a position he held for 7 years prior to the move to the Red Dragon High School. 2-1 for the Howland Tigers, 2-1 for Warren Harding. The Panthers, of course, last week with a big win over the Massillon Tigers. Petrosky all set, Warren Harding all set, and the Stillbody Conference race is underway. Petrosky's kickoff will be taken by Galladay at the 8-yard line. Galladay 20, 25 running room 30, Galladay 40, Galladay 50, Galladay 40, Galladay out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. Vincent Galladay, usually Reuben Osborne is back deep for Warren Harding on the kickoff return unit, but Reuben shaken up last week against the Massillon Tigers, and Vincent Galladay returns the opening kickoff 61 yards. Let's see where they're going to spot him out of bounds at the 38-yard line of the Howland Tigers.
Boy, a great return by Galladay. There was nothing tricky about that particular return either, because he didn't even have to make a cut. He just went straight up the left sideline and no problem. A great job of blocking by that kickoff unit of the Panthers.
Okay, again, let's go over the offensive backfield for Warren Harding.
Here we see the run back, taking it about the 8. And look, he doesn't make a cut. He makes a slight cut to the outside.
First play from scrimmage, Alan Caldwell 25, Alan Caldwell 20, Alan Caldwell down to the 15-yard line. Pickup of 23 on the play for Alan Caldwell on the very first offensive play from scrimmage for Warren Harding. So the Panthers picking up this week right where they left off against the Massillon Tigers last week. Have it 1st and 10 at the Howland 15-yard line, and better get into the offensive backfield for the Panthers the way they're moving. The quarterback number 12, Harley Keller. Fullback number 9, Woody Perez, and the wingback number 33, Alan Caldwell, along with number 23, Ken Ash. Double wing formation, that's what the Panthers will use as Perez on the dive play down to about the 12-yard line. 3-yard pickup on the play, 2nd down, 7 yards to go for Warren Harding.
We mentioned getting the upper hand early was going to be a key to this game, and of course the Panthers off to a fine start in that regard with the great punt return or kickoff return by Galladay, and then Alan Caldwell in the first play from scrimmage, putting him in nice position.
2nd down, let's call it along, 7 yards to go now. Shifting into the I formation, Caldwell the ball carrier. Caldwell for maybe another yard down to about the 11-yard line. Leading the charge defensively for the Howland Tigers, defensive tackle, right side tackle, number 64, Scott Biggin. So that'll set up our first 3rd down situation of the ball game. Alan Caldwell, by the way, his father, a premier running back for Warren Harding back in the early 60s, right after the Paul Warfield era. Here we go, 3rd down, about, let's call it 6 yards to go for the Warren Harding first down. Oh, what a defensive effort by the Howland Tigers as Keller goes down at the 15-yard line. Number 24, I believe, Petrosky.
No, it was 64, Cap, on the play.
Again, Scott Biggin, defensive right tackle, coming in to make a big play for the Howland Tigers. So that will set up a 4th down, a loss of 3 on the play. 4th down, let's call it 10 yards to go for the Warren Harding first down. And Ted Bartholomew in to attempt what will be the equivalent of a 33-yard field goal. Keller to do the holding at the 23-yard line. And flags all over the place. One of the Howland ball players jumping prior to the snap. So that'll set up an interesting situation for Frank Thomas if it is an encroachment, and it is against Howland. 4th down, 5 yards to go from the Howland 10-yard line.
Well, it does make things interesting, but 4th and 5 is pretty difficult to pick up against this Howland defense. And you have to think that the Panthers will probably try to go for 3 again.
Bartholomew has yet to kick a field goal this year for Warren Harding. This time we'll move it 5 yards closer, and thus it becomes the equivalent of about a 28-yard attempt. Ball is down, kick is in the air. The kick by Bartholomew is good. 9 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and the Panthers do indeed draw first blood. They lead the Howland Tigers by a score of 3-0.
Well, it was a line shot that just got over the crossbar, but certainly accomplished what the Panthers wanted. They got on the board first. After a fine kickoff return put them in good field position. Alan Caldwell with 23 yards on the first play. But then after that, the drive stalled as the Panthers were only picked up 5 yards after that. And they get the three-pointer with 9:34 remaining in the first period.
Bartholomew will do the kicking off, and there you see the deep man for the Howland Tigers on the near side, Joe Cutie. Man in the middle, number 31 for the Howland Tigers, Jimmy Edwards. And on the far side, Mr. Everything, Dennis Petrosky. Bartholomew on the kickoff. Panthers leading 3-0. 9:34 remaining first quarter. Split kick by Bartholomew, taken by one of the up men. He'll fall on it at his own 29-yard line. Number 48, Joe Cutie, falling on the kickoff. And wise move, Harry Bate. If you start messing around with it, that football does play funny tricks on you at times.
Once it's fumbled the first time, there's no use trying to play with it. You might as well just fall on it. But by the way, that last drive by the Panthers, 5 plays, 38 yards, 2:26 time elapsed.
Wing T formation, and there will be flags all over the place on this one. Be a 5-yard mark off again against the Howland Tigers and move the ball back to the 24-yard stripe, where it'll set up a first down and 15-yard to go situation for Howland. Again in the backfield for the Tigers, quarterback junior number 16 Timmy Davis, fullback number 48 Joe Cutie, the halfback number 25 Dave Bettich, and the wingback number 1 Danny Corbusello. First and 15 for Howland from their own 24-yard line. Trailing in the ball game 3-0. Kim Cavalcante will split to the left side. Cutie, the ball carrier, across the 25 up to about the 28-yard line. 3-yard pickup on the play. In fact, let's call it 4 and call it second down, 11 yards to go for the Howland Tigers. Defensively for Warren Harding, as you look at the offense for Howland coming in to give the play to quarterback number 16 Timmy Davis. Panther defense remains to be seen how the injury to Jimmy Bell is going to affect the Panthers. He starts at the defensive left end spot for Warren Harding. Second down, 11 yards to go. Ball carrier, running room 30. That was around the defensive left side of Warren Harding, up to the 32-yard line. Number 34, the ball carrier, Rick Mendenhall. Pickup of 5 on the play, so third down, and let's give Howland about 7 yards to go for the first down with 4 minutes gone here in the first quarter.
Well, we mentioned the balance Howland having in that backfield. We may see as many as 5 to 6 runners tonight.
Timmy Davis does have an arm. He gives the ball to Corbusello, has a blocker, 35, first down, 40, up to the 45 to the 46-yard line of the Warren Harding Panthers. And again, Howland going around the right side, and that's the spot vacated by the injured Jimmy Bell. Big pickup for Corbusello. 14 yards on the play, and for the Howland Tigers, their first down of the ballgame.
Here we see it. Corbusello finding the right side and gets a nice hole. Had he not tripped there, he may have had an open field in front of him.
They're going to spot it at the 47-yard line of the Tigers. Ball carrier Cutie on the dive play, a pickup of about 2 up to the 49-yard line. Yet on the stop for the Warren Harding defense. Entire right side of the Panther defense. Donnell White leading the charge from his defensive right tackle spot. John Church also in on the stop for Warren Harding. Second down. Let's call it a long 7 yards to go for Howland. Ball carrier Munden. Oh, this time for nothing. Might have lost a yard. In fact, back to the 48-yard line. Fumble occurring after the snap. 1 yard loss on the play, and Dave Arnold. And number 36 for the Warren Harding defensive unit, Derek Galladay, coming up for the stop. Third down, 8 yards to go for the Tigers. Six and a half minutes remaining first quarter. Davis to throw. Davis fires, complete into Warren Harding territory, close to the first down at the Panther 45-yard line. On the receiving end for the Howland Tigers, I believe Kim Cavalcanti. Now that's Dennis Petrosky on the receiving end. 1 yard shy, 4th down, 1 yard to go for the Howland Tigers.
Here we see Davis, just a simple out pattern there by Petrosky, and fell short of the first down.
So let's see what Jack Pearson does. They're going to surrender the football as Petrosky will do the booting from about his own 43-yard line. And again, Willie Perez back deep for Warren Harding along with Harley Keller. Petrosky's kick will hit at the 20, take a Howland bounce inside the 15, roll inside the 10, picked up by Perez, and he is nailed back at the 7-yard line of Warren Harding. Dangerous play that time by Willie Perez. And the Panthers will take over, leading 3-0 with 5:24 remaining first quarter, deep in their own territory. 36-yard boot that time by Petrosky, -1 on the return for Warren Harding.
Well, fine punt puts the Panthers inside the 10. And field position will become important in this one because ball control is going to be the key tonight. And trying to keep away from any mistakes, at least deep in your own territory, is a key.
High in the backfield. Fumbled snap back by Keller. He's going to ramble, has a block. Gets to the 10, cuts the corner, 15, Keller 20, Keller 25. Keller out of bounds at the 27-yard line of Warren Harding. Harley Keller, a pickup of 20 on the play. That'll give the Panthers their second first down of the ball game. All that after a fumbled snap back from the center. We're going to look at it again, Harry.
Sometimes it's just that much that'll give the defense the opportunity to not get the job done. There you see, it threw him off just a little bit there, and you see a little bit of the speed that Keller can possess him, gets the Panthers out of their own territory.
1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. Perez stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Willie Perez coming into the ball game averaging 5.2 yards per carry. He's carried the ball an average of first 3 games for Warren Harding, an average of 16 times per ball game, picked up 250 yards, including 4 touchdowns. You have to anticipate the fact that Howland will be keying on Willie Perez in tonight's ball game.
Well, that's true, and I think the fact that Alan Caldwell got the first carry for the Panthers probably is on Frank Thomas's mind as well, that they'll be keying in on Perez.
That time Willie with a loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 for Warren Harding from their own 26-yard line. Running room for Ken Ash, flag on the play. Ash up to the 30, good open field tackle by the Howland Tigers. See what the flag's all about. It's going to be against the Panthers. Holding the initial call from Fred Vickerell. And if so, that's going to mark the ball half the distance to the Panther goal line.
Boy, George Stull, number 11, made a fine stop there on the play against Ash. And he got him just before he was able to turn the corner. But it's going to cost the Panthers even more here with the penalty. And it's a sizable one. Obviously holding the call. And that'll be 20 yards now in penalties assessed against the Panthers.
That'll move it back to the 16-yard line. 2nd down, 21 yards to go for Warren Harding. Panthers leading by virtue of a 28-yard field goal by Ted Bartholomew. The first time they had their hands on the football after an excellent kickoff return by Vincent Galladay. Keller to being blindsided, and he is hammered back at his own 10-yard line. Boy, I don't know where number 31, Jim Edwards, came from, but neither does Harley Keller. A loss on the play of about 7, so that will set up a 3rd down, and let's call it close to 30 yards to go for the Warren Harding first down.
Boy, here we see it. It's actually Joe Feudy that makes the blindside play. He went in untouched and really puts the Panthers in the hole now with the penalty and the sack.
Feudy actually lines up as a right side cornerback for Howland, so the blitz was on for the Tigers that time. 3rd down, the Panthers have to get up to their own 38-yard line, so let's call it 3rd down, 28 yards to go for the Warren Harding first down.
Quick kick a possibility in this situation.
Ball carrier Willie Perez for a couple. He is hit, and he will go down at the 14-yard line. Dennis Petrosky, right side linebacker for the Tigers, making initial contact. 4th down, punting situation for Warren Harding.
Now, Panthers hurt themselves in that drive. The 15-yard holding penalty after a fine run by Keller looked like it got him out of the hole. The holding penalty put him right back in there, and now with decent field position for the Tigers impending here.
John Church to do the booting from about his own 2-yard line. Judy, one of the deep men for the Howland Tigers. High kick by Church. Fair catch by Corbusato will be taken at the Warren Harding 45-yard line. 31-yard punt by Church. No return by Howland. So the Tigers on the exchange of punts gain nothing. They kick from the Harding 45. They'll take over again from the Warren Harding 45-yard line. There you see the score in the ball game. The Panthers 3, the Howland Tigers nothing with 2 minutes, 25 seconds remaining first quarter. Tigers, the first time they had their hands on the football, moved the ball mainly on the ground. That time Joe Feudy for a couple down to the Panther 42-yard line, and Woody Perez making the stop for the Warren Harding defense. Perez runs on defense out of the clawback spot in the Panther defense, and boy, that Warren Harding defense just had one superb ball game last week, Eric.
They really did. The Tigers couldn't get, the Massillon Tigers couldn't get much going offensively, and but they did put the Massillon Tigers in the hole early in the game with some scoring early in the contest, and kind of got them out of the game plan. Howland here will probably not that far down with 3-0 score and good field position here.
Wing T, Corbusato on the counter, can find maybe a yard. Didn't fool the Warren Harding defense. 1-yard pickup on the play by Danny Corbusato. Third down. Let's call it 6 yards to go for the Howland Tigers. Number 76, defensive right tackle, again, Donnell White, leading the charge for the Warren Harding defense. Third down, and let's call it a long 6 yards to go, with 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining first quarter. Good shot of that wing T in the backfield. Rolling, gonna run with the football. Timmy Davis inside the 40 will get down to the 39-yard line. 3-yard pickup on the play. Harley Keller coming up to make the stop for the Panthers. Fourth down, and again, decision time for Jack Pearson. 4th and 4 from the Panther 39-yard line, and again, it looks like Howland will surrender the football.
Now they're playing the field position game right now. They don't want to take a chance. It's too early in the contest to turn the ball over in this situation at the 39-yard line. So the objective here is to keep the Panthers pinned inside their 15-yard line, and that's exactly what we'll try to do here in terms of the Tigers.
Petrosky to do the booting from his own 48-yard line. Panthers going for the run back. Line drive kick that Perez will take at his own 12. Perez 15. Perez outside 20. Perez 24. Perez 24-yard line. Woody Perez showing the burst of speed that enabled him to return one for 78 yards against Massillon last week. Perez on the return of about 14 yards, and that could be the last play of the first quarter. Down to 10 seconds remaining, quarter number 1. Panthers leading 3-0, and doubt if they'll get another play out. 3 seconds remaining. Keller out, and there is the whistle indicating the end of the first quarter. So we played one here at Mollenkopf Stadium, still out a conference opener. For the Howland Tigers, the Warren Harding Panthers. There you see it, after 1 at Mollenkopf. The Panthers 3, the Tigers nothing. We'll be back with second quarter action, but first we're going to pause for this message. It is going against Warren Harding.
The indication was the clip on the play. I wondered, Ash had a nice hole there, and it opened suddenly, and I have a feeling that the call happened just as he made his cut. And again, the Panthers hurting themselves as fine gainer is turned into a big loss.
Fred Vickerell giving the indication. So Warren Harding first down and long yardage. First down and 18 yards to go from their own 23-yard line. In fact, let's call it first and 23 from their own 23-yard line. They have to get up to the 46. One back offense. Caldwell on the sweep. This time did not fool the Howland defense. Really hammered way back inside the 20, and Caldwell a little shaken up on the play. Back at his own 17-yard line, a loss of 6. Call it second down. 31 yards to go for Warren Harding.
Boy, it was Jim Edwards that just got in there, diagnosed the play perfectly, and put on a fine tackle there to dump Caldwell behind the line of scrimmage. And boy, this is the second consecutive series where the Panthers have found themselves second or third and more than 30.
Defense has always been a keynote in the success of Jack Pearson. He comes into this ball game with 108 victories as head coach under his belt. Wingback reverse, running room, Caldwell across the 20 up to the 24-yard line. So Caldwell picks up 6 of the 28 yards he needed. Third down, 22 yards to go for the Warren Harding first down.
Well, Panthers have yet to put the ball in the air. 3rd and 21, you have to anticipate that would be the call here. Although they are deep in their own territory and they may not want to risk the situation.
Robert Murray splits to the left side. David Arnold flanked to the right side. Keller rolling left. Keller getting time. Keller going to fire the football deep. Overthrows the intended receiver. Alan Caldwell at the 50-yard line. Back on pass coverage for the Howland Tigers. Rick Mendenhall from his right side cornerback position. So 4th down will set up a punting situation for the Panthers with 10 minutes, 12 seconds remaining here in the first half. And Warren Harding protecting that 3-0 lead.
Another fine defensive series by the Howland Tigers, and they're doing nothing but helping themselves. They've gotten the offense good field position, but the Howland offense hasn't gotten on track yet.
Danny Corbusello, Joe Feudy in your screen back at their own 40-yard line. John Church's boot, end over end kick. Feudy will take it at the 48. Feudy to the 50. Feudy to the 46-yard line of the Warren Harding Panthers. Vincent Galladay making the stop on Joe Feudy. 29-yard punt by John Church, return of 8 yards by Feudy, and again, excellent field position for the Howland offense. 1st and 10 inside the Warren Harding 46-yard line as you look at the 3rd-year head mentor of Warren Harding, Frankie Thomas. Howland averaging over 200 yards, or close to 200 yards in total offense for the first 3 games of the season. Bedich going to be hit right at the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up a yard down to the 45-yard line. Let's see where the whistle blew. John Church in on the stop along with number 76, again Donnell White. No gain on the play. Call it 2nd down, 10 yards to go for the Howland Tigers.
Well, Bedich, now that's 5 rushers for the Howland Tigers, and we're only in the 2nd period, so we mentioned their balanced running game. Of course, so far tonight, it's been a matter of who can gain the yardage. Dan Corbusello has the longest run from scrimmage, a 14-yarder.
Wing T. Timmy Davis rolling. Timmy Davis looking. Timmy Davis pumps once, fires over the middle, incomplete. At the 35-yard line.
He had Dave Bedich open. Bedich was cutting across. It was actually a nice pump fake, but Davis just couldn't get it to him. If he would have, I think Bedich had enough on the defensive secondary that he could have taken it in.
3rd down, 10 yards to go for Howland from their own, from the Warren Harding 46-yard line. Man in motion is Bedich. Counter play to Corbusello inside the 45 down to the 44, pickup of 2. That will set up a 4th down, and again a punting situation for the Howland Tigers.
Boy, the punter's getting a workout here as the Howland Tigers having trouble moving it against that stingy Warren Harding defense. In fact, the Tigers now with 31 yards rushing and 9 in the air for a total of 40 yards in total offense with 8:29 remaining in the 2nd period.
Perez and Keller back deep at their own 10-yard line. Petrosky this time to do the booting from his own 43-yard stripe. Good snap from center. Panthers applying a little bit of pressure. Line drive kick that will hit inside the 15, inside the 10, inside the 5. Picked up by Perez at the 5, and Willie Perez is going to be snowed under at the 5-yard line. Again, a little bit of a dangerous play by Willie Perez, Harry.
Well, Willie Perez is not concerned about his punt return average because in both situations it was hopeless. Picked up the ball for no apparent reason, and this situation was down for no return.
38-yard punt by Petrosky, no return by Perez, and the Panthers deep in their own territory. 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Warren Harding clinging to that 3-0 lead. But now a big opportunity for the Howland defense to pin the Panthers deep in their own territory and to give the Howland offense excellent field position. Ball carrier Willie Perez for nothing. Stopped by the entire left side of the Howland defense. Number 54, the nose guard, Chris Van Horn. Helped out on the play by number 64, Scott Biggin. Second down, 10 yards to go for the Panthers. The game starting to take on the semblance of a chess match between Frank Thomas and Jack Pearson.
You're right about that, Cap. You know, it's just juggling for field position. So far, Howland's had the advantage, but they haven't been able to move the ball once they've gotten that field position.
High in the backfield, ball carrier, Caldwell loses 2. Back to the 4, possibly to the Warren Harding 3-yard line, and again Joe Feudy from his right side cornerback position in on the stop, along with Dennis Petrosky. Third down, 11 yards to go for the Warren Harding first down.
That really puts a lot of pressure on the offense with the field position the Panthers have had and the long yardage situations also that they've had. They've been unable to go to the game plan because they've been pinned back so far or faced with the long yardage.
Again, the eye behind quarterback Harley Cullen. Third and 11. Ball carrier Caldwell trying to get outside, breaks one tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that Howland defense doing the job here in the second quarter.
Good quickness on the defensive front. They're really keying in on Caldwell and Perez, and the Panthers have been unable to go even wide, something that they really like to do. They've been unable to get outside, though, because of the deep penetration by that defensive line.
Back that time, Caldwell's knee went down at the 3, so fourth down, 12 yards to go for Warren Harding from their own 3-yard line, and this time John Church backed up right to the end of his own end zone. Almost blocked. No flag on the play. Feudy will let it hit at the 40, take a Warren Harding roll up to the 45, and be down at about the 46-yard line. 40-yard punt by John Church. No return on the punt. And again, for about the third or fourth time in the first half, Howland will start a drive from the Warren Harding 45-yard line.
Boy, Kim Cavalcante came very close to blocking that Church punt, but it was a fine punt by Church under the pressure that he was under. And as you mentioned, Cap, again, you can't complain about the field position the Tigers have had, but they've been unable to move the ball. They've only had one first down in this game.
Pressure on the Warren Harding defense has been immense here in the first half, but each time they've risen to the occasion. Wing T in the backfield. Davis to throw on first down. Davis lofting the pass to Petrosky, complete inside the 35. Petrosky to the 30-yard line. 16-yard pickup on the passing combination of Timmy Davis to Dennis Petrosky. And that will be good enough for the second first down of the ball game by the Howland Tigers.
Well, Davis got some time that time, and also Petrosky went right to the ball like every good receiver should. And here you see it. He's right there. Davis just kind of lofted it in between two Panthers. Good enough for that passing first down, and now the Tigers moving the football against the Panthers.
Trying to open up that Warren Harding defense. Again to throw on first down. Timmy Davis going to run with the football. Davis 25. Davis still on his feet down to the 23-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play for the junior quarterback. Caught it second down. About 3 yards to go for the Howland first down. You have to respect the throwing arm of Davis. Coming into the ball game, 17 out of 31, which is excellent for a high school football quarterback.
Boy, he does throw the ball well, and he keeps you off guard. In that situation, again, he looked like he wanted to throw, but found that he could probably pick up some real estate and more real estate by running the football, and did so for 7 yards.
There's a good look at the junior quarterback for Howland. Second down, along 3 yards to go for the Tigers. Ball carrier, Ceto fumbles the football, picked up at the 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, Harley Keller to the 40, Keller to the 30, Keller to the 20, Keller out of bounds at about the 13-yard line of Howland. So Harley Keller making his presence known. In fact, they're going to put him down at the 18-yard line. And again, the Warren Harding defense coming up with a big play this evening. 47-yard return on the fumble recovery by Harley Keller. First and 10 for the Panthers with 3:45 remaining. Here we go.
Here we see it there. The football pops loose. Keller alertly picking it up, showing good speed here. says, well, we haven't done it offensively. Let me try to do it defensively. And he gets the Panthers excellent field position now, and that's the break the Panthers were looking for to get out of their own territory, because they've been operating inside their own 20 for most of this contest.
Joe Cutie saving the touchdown for the Howland Tigers. 3:30 remaining here in the second quarter, and a timeout called by the Warren Harding Panthers. That's the Panthers' first timeout of the ball game. It'll stop the clock with 3 minutes 28 seconds remaining in the first half. And sure, one of the reasons for the timeout is to let Harley Keller catch his breath, Eric.
Well, that's true, because that was quite a run he made, and he is there being administered to, trying to get his breath back. We talked about those Harding possessions and where they've been. They did have one at the 38-yard line as a result of the kickoff. That's the one they converted into 3 points. But listen to these possessions since then. Their own 8, their own 24, and their own 5 is where their drives have started. And penalties put them back even further on a couple of occasions. But now the Warren Harding Panthers, with 3:28 remaining in the half, in very good field position with the ball resting at the 18-yard line after a fine defensive play by Keller.
Warren Harding leading 3-0 by virtue of a first quarter field goal by Ted Bartholomew. A kick that traveled 28 yards on the line. This is the opening weekend for Stivati Conference play around the area. Tomorrow night we'll have another Stivati Conference encounter for you. We go down to Bo Ryan Memorial Stadium to take on the Niles McKinley Warren Western Reserve contest. First and 10 for the Panthers. The ball at the 18-yard line of the Howland Tigers. One back behind Harley Keller. That's Willie Perez. He has the football inside the 15. Perez inside the 10. Perez out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. Tell you, that's one thing that has some pressure about Willie Perez. He gets anywhere near that goal line, and it seems he has a nose for it. He comes into the ball game, scoring-wise, 4 touchdowns on the year, including 3 last week against Massillon. 4th first down of the ball game for Warren Harding. Going out of bounds, stopping the clock with 3:23 remaining first half.
Boy, Perez at 5'8", 167. You wouldn't expect him to drag tacklers the way he does, but you're right, Cap. He gets close to that end zone, and he does it.
Arnold split to the right side. Alan Caldwell on the sweep. Going to be tripped up with a 13 and a flag on the play. I think number 31 again, Jimmy Edwards, with a big play for the Howland defense, and let's see what the infraction is this time. And again, a clip against Warren Harding. That's the 3rd time in the ball game that the Panthers are going to be hurt by the major infraction.
Yeah, it gives the Panthers 50 yards in penalties now. This 15-yarder will be marked off. And they've done nothing but hurt Warren Harding. They've come at very inopportune times. Couldn't come more inopportune than this situation.
That'll move it all the way back to the 29-yard line. Instead of having first and goal at the Howland 7, Panthers first and goal at the Tiger 29-yard straight. Nice crowd here this evening. Arnold again will split to the right side. There's a good shot of Harley Keller, senior quarterback. For the Panthers to throw. Keller getting pressure, fires the football to Arnold. Complete inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. Pickup of about 6 on the play. Second down. 22 yards to go for the Warren Harding touchdown.
Keller showed me something here. I think he did a good job as he went back to pass. Watch, he doesn't set himself. He throws it on the run. Had he set himself, he'd have been sacked, but shows he's got a pretty good arm there. And Dave Arnold, of course, makes any quarterback look good. He's a fine athlete. And that's the first completion for the Panthers. 1 of 2 in the air.
Danny Corbusello making the stop for Howland. 2nd and 22 for Warren Harding from the Howland 22-yard line. Drop, no, fake on the draw. Keller goes down the middle to Arnold. Complete inside the 10. Arnold down to the 6-yard line. 16-yard pickup on the passing combination of Harley Keller to Dave Arnold. 3rd down. 6 yards to go for the Warren Harding touchdown.
Well, that's one way to get the yardage back. Here we see Keller. He gets in the pocket, sets, and Arnold makes a fine reception. And we saw a little bit of the athletic ability of David Arnold there as he made a great catch and gets the Panthers in fine position here with a 3rd and goal at the 6. It could have been a lot worse given that 15-yard clipping penalty.
Again, an excellent take by Harley Keller to Willie Perez in the middle of the line, froze the linebackers. Gave Arnold a little bit of a seam to work on. 3rd and 6 for the Warren Harding touchdown. 1:35 remaining second quarter. Keller flips the ball to Caldwell. Fumbled on the play, and Caldwell going to pick it up and be nailed way back at the 15-yard line. Somebody for the Howland defense created all that problem. Came busting in over the center and hit Harvey Keller as soon as he got the snap back from the center.
There we see the flip. It was a Keller was down, just about down as he pitched it, and it was a great defensive play. I think it might have been Bedich again, but I'm not sure.
So once again, we have number 10, Teddy Bartholomew on. He converted on a field goal in the first quarter. Fred Vickerell stopping the clock with 58 seconds remaining.
I didn't mean Bedich, I meant Biggin making the big play.
This time, Keller will hold at the 24, a 34-yard attempt by Ted Bartholomew. Reason for the stop clock, or the clock being stopped by Fred Vickerell. He wanted the Howland band to move out of the end zone. Ball is down. Bartholomew's kick is going to be short. Kick is no good. Bartholomew a little short on his 34-yard attempt, and the Howland defense rises to the occasion. The Panthers had it 1st and goal at the Howland 7-yard line. Come up empty. 47 seconds remaining first half. Score remains there. You see it, the Panthers 3 and the Tigers nothing.
Great defensive stand there by Howland. Things were going the Panthers' way. The big fumble recovery. Then Perez managed a fine run of 12 yards, which got it 1st and goal. But then the clipping penalty is really what hurt the Panthers. And the Tigers, given that situation, were able to stop the Panthers cold.
See how the Tigers play it. They're going to give the draw play. A little bit of running room for Bedich. He'll get up to the 25 to the 26-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play for the senior running back for Howland. Clock down to 30 seconds remaining in the half, and it looks like the Tigers, well, initially they're going to line up without a huddle, but they may think this one over and let the clock wind down.
Might try to get off one more.
Dave is hustling back into the huddle, so we will have one more play before the intermission. Five seconds remaining. Counter play. Corbusello will get to the 28, but that will be it. John Church in on the stop for the Warren Harding Panthers, and there is the whistle indicating the end of the first half. So we play 2 quarters here at Mollenkopf Stadium. The score, Warren Harding 3, the Howland Tigers nothing. We will be back with halftime entertainment, statistics, and more for you. But first, we're going to pause for this message.
Well, Larry, what do you think about Woody's Knowledge Fitness Center now that he's remodeled everything?
Really nice. Nice sound.
Hi, Woody.
Yeah, Woody's open 24 hours a day, 3 times a week now.
That's right. Time's never a factor, and you can come down, try it out for a week free. Yeah, Larry, besides doubling the Knowledge equipment, they also double the size of this free weight room.
Nice, huh? Yeah, nice sound system.
Hi, Laura.
Okay, let me get this straight. We've got aerobics, we've got karate, we have a sauna, we have a weight room, and 2 complete sets of Knowledge equipment.
That's right. So why don't you take a shot at Woody's?
All right.
Hi, do you know why the steaks taste so good at Abruzzi's Cafe 422? Because we don't buy frozen meat. All of our steaks, chops, and fillets are cut fresh here every day. Whether you like them rare, medium, or well, find out what a steak is supposed to taste like. Try Abruzzi's Cafe 422, and I guarantee you'll enjoy yourself.
Come in and enjoy yourself. Abruzzi, enjoy yourself. Cafe 422.
We are Pilot 9, TV for Trumbull County.
had come off the Warren Harding bench, booted a 28-yard field goal. That coming with 9:34 remaining in the first quarter, and that's been it. 3-0. The Warren Harding Panthers leading the Howland Tigers. Harry?
Well, taking a look at the team statistic, the Warren Harding Panthers getting the edge in rushing yardage. They've got 112 yards rushing to Howland's 50. And in the passing department, 22 yards for the Panthers, 25 for Howland, a total of 134 total yards for Warren Harding to Howland's 75. The Panthers, though, have been penalized 50 yards, and that's been the key in this one because they've been unable to muster anything because of two clipping calls and a holding call have really put the Panthers in the hole. Howland has been penalized for 10 yards. In the first down department, Harding with 4, Howland with 2, and in terms of time of possession, pretty even. The Panthers 12:28 to Howland's 11:32. Now, taking a look at the individual statistics, Alan Caldwell leads the way for the Panthers. He's got 36 yards and 6 carries. Willie Perez with 21 yards and 6 carries. So those two fellas have accounted for 57 of Harding's yardage, 57 of the rushing yardage. And then in the passing department, it's been David Arnold on the receiving end of 2 of 3 passes by Keller for 6 and 16 yards for a total of 22 yards, and Keller has an incompletion. As far as the Howland Tigers are concerned individually, Dan Corbusello has 19 yards on 4 carries to lead the way for the Howland Tigers, and Tim Davis 10 yards in 2 carries for the second best average on the Highland Tiger team. In the passing department, very similar to the Panthers, 2 of 3. It's been Petrosky on the receiving end of Davis's passes twice for a total of 23 yards. So that's been it up to now. It's exactly the way we anticipated. The fact that it is a 3-0 game indicates how fine these two teams are defensively, and probably could anticipate more of the same in the second half. We'll go down to the field now and watch that Howland Tiger marching band. Well, with the Tiger marching band coming off the field, we'll take this opportunity to break and bring you more of halftime in the second half in a moment.
The YMCA in Warren, Second Soul Shoe Stores, and Warren General Hospital. Be there Saturday, September 29th for the second annual Warren General Hospital Run for Health.
We're back here at Mullenkoff Stadium, and the Warren Harding Marching Band providing the entertainment. What you're seeing there, though, is a blackout routine. And the fine drum major of the Warren Harding Marching Band with flames going, providing the entertainment. And Joe Sabat with his work cut out for him down there on the camera with no lights on. But you know, Cap, in talking about the Steel Valley race, I think it merits a little conversation here because the fact that the strength of it is shown in the polls. Steel Valley represented by 3 teams in the top 10, AP and UPI, with Warren Western Reserve, Austintown Finch, and Cardinal Mooney. That's certainly a credit to the league.
That's right, Harry. And then you have Youngstown Ursuline that's ranking close to the top 20 in the state, so that's 4 teams out of the 8 teams in the conference that are state ranked. And if Warren Harding should happen to win tonight, combined with their win last week against the Massillon Tigers, wouldn't be surprised to see Warren Harding ranked somewhere in the poll next week when it comes out. But you're right, absolutely right. Steel Valley Conference, one of the top high school football conferences in the state, if not the top. And as you mentioned, the rankings thus far this year certainly point up that fact.
Well, and Pilot 9 bringing you a lot of the Steel Valley action, and this being the first conference game that we've been bringing you, Howland and Warren Harding, and very indicative of the type of league it is. Hard-hitting game, clean football, 3-0 the score, and that's very typical because of the defense that's played in this particular conference. And of course, if you have to give an edge to anybody, you probably have to give it to Fitch based on their preseason because of the opponents and the way that they've played. But you can't count out any of the teams because they just keep knocking each other out. And it's really something to have 3 Steel Valley teams in the top 10.
After 3 weeks of play, another interesting statistic to throw out is the fact that Steel Valley Conference teams were 20-4 after the first 3 weeks of the campaign, and just another indication of the overall strength of the Steel Valley Conference.
Yeah, and they don't play any patsies. That's the other thing. I mean, the fact that Warren Harding, which isn't even ranked, knocks off Massillon, and things like that certainly are a credit to the league. And as we said, we're going to have an exciting year, I think, in following the Steel Valley Conference, as well as the other ball games that we'll be bringing to you over Pilot 9. Well, there you see the Warren Harding Marching Band in an exciting routine. Great music. We'll take you down and let you listen. band and a fine routine. And let's bring in Bob Church. Bob, your impressions of the first half so far?
Well, Harry, you got to think that it's like you gentlemen said at the early part of the ball game. It's a good defensive Steel Valley struggle, and Jack Pearson as well as Frank Thomas seem to be preaching defense, as most coaches do in the Steel Valley.
Well, if you're Jack Pearson right now, what do you think you have to say to the troops in the locker room to try to get them motivated to get back in the ball game?
Well, there's not really much motivation. You're playing your neighborhood rival, Warren Harding, in the first game of the Steel Valley. You don't want to start off on the wrong foot. The basic thing I look for in the second half, Harry, is a fact that they'll put the ball in the air, because Tim Davis seemed to have, you know, with him running the ball, he opened up the linebacking area, and he was hitting the open receiver, and Frank Thomas has got to defense that. If you're Harding, I think what you might have to do is, you know, run reverse plays, you know, away from Perez, because they're definitely keying on Willie Perez, and Alan Caldwell is doing a fine job, as well as Hardy Keller.
I was going to ask you, are you surprised in terms of the lack of passing in the first half? Neither team was really built as a passing team, but the situations presented themselves, but they get the ball on the ground pretty much.
Right. I think it was kind of a feeling out process, and what happened in the first half, like I say, Tim Davis had relative success passing the ball, and I look for Jack Pearson to put it up more in the second half.
Well, on the other hand, how about the Warren Harding Panthers? They've got that 3-0 lead. Obviously, they won't be content to sit on it. Do you think, though, their strategy will hold?
Well, you can't blame it on the defense. I mean, you know, the Howland defense is putting Harding in the hole. If you're Frank Thomas, you go what works for you. Keep the ball away from Perez. Not because he can't do the job. It's just that he's got two guys following him around everywhere he goes on the field.
What are your impressions, Bob? Just in you've been observing the scene for a long time in terms of the Steel Valley, and we mentioned the fact that there were 3 teams in the top 10. How do you size it up?
Well, there's no doubt it's now the best conference in the state. It was the All-American Conference when it was Massillon, Camp McKinley, and Niles. That was a good conference, but Steel Valley Conference is definitely the best conference in the state of Ohio.
Okay, well, both teams have taken the field, and we'll be back to bring you the second half of action after this. We're back. I'm sorry, Cap. We're back at Mollenkopf Stadium, ready for the second half.
Terry Bartholomew on the kickoff line drive kick that will be picked up by Corbusato at his own 13. 15, trying to get outside, does get outside. 25, Corbusato stood on his feet up to the 27-yard line. Danny Corbusato had trouble finding the handle on the kickoff to open up the third quarter. Did return it a total of 14 yards on the play, and a first down, 10 yards to go for the Howland Tigers. Defenses struggled all the way in the first half. Grand total of 91 offensive net yards combined for both ball clubs. Again in the backfield for the Howland Tigers, the quarterback, number 16, Timmy Davis, the fullback, Joe Feudy, number 48, and the running back, Dave Bettich. Ball carrier across the 30 up to about the 33-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play. Second down, 4 yards to go for the Howland Tigers.
That was Rick Mendenhall, his third carry. He's got 8 yards now in the evening. I think it bears mention to let you know about the possessions. Howland's possessions, first 4 possessions in that first half, they got it on their own 29, but then they got field position at the Harding 45, Harding 46, and again on the Harding 46, and could not get any points on the board. A testimony to that tough Panther defense.
Ball carrier again, Mendenhall across the 35, close to the first down. He does have the first down at the 38-yard line. Third first down of the ball game for the Howland Tigers. Number 11, Vince Galladay, outside linebacker on the left side. In fact, they're going to give forward progress to Mendenhall up to the 39-yard line. So give him 6 on that one. First down, 10 yards to go. 1 minute gone here in the third quarter. Panthers leading 3-0. Tim Davis gives the ball across the 40 up to the 43-yard line. A pickup of 4 on the play that time. Let's see who the ball carrier was for the Howland Tigers. That's Dave Bettich. Bettich, the ball carrier, pickup of 4, second down, 6 yards to go for the Howland first down.
Well, already Howland moving the ball better here in the second half than they did in the first, getting that ground game moving. And evidently something said by Jack Pearson is getting that offensive line motivated, because they're moving out that Panther defense a lot better.
Second down, ball carrier, Ceto up to the 45, might have got up to the 46-yard line. They spot his knee down. They're going to put it right at the 45-yard line, so a 2-yard pickup on the play. Third down, 4 yards to go for the Howland first down. Tigers 1 out of 4 in third down conversion attempts in the first half as you look at the Warren Harding defense. Nine minutes, 30 seconds remaining third quarter. Third and 4 from their own 45. Davis looking. Davis throwing over the middle. Pass is overthrown, intended for Petrosky at the Warren Harding 40-yard line, but the overthrown incompletion will set up a fourth and punting situation for Howland. Fourth down, 4 yards to go from their own 45-yard line. 9 minutes, 14 seconds remaining quarter number 3.
Now, Petrosky was the intended receiver. Bedich was also within the vicinity, but Davis couldn't get the ball there, and now the Tigers' offensive charge is stalled again by the Panther defense.
Petrosky to do the booting from his own 32-yard line, and again, Willie Perez and Harley Keller back deep at their own 20 for the Panthers. Panthers going for the return. Keller will take it at his own 24-yard line, has the wall on the near side, but he will not find the wall. Gets up to about the 27-yard line, but snowed in at that point. 31-yard punt by Petrosky, 3-yard return by Harley Keller, and the Panthers have it for the first time in the second half. First and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Decent field position the way things have gone so far. To be on your own 27, if you're the Panthers, has to be a plus, because they've been pinned down in their own territory most of this contest.
Arnold will split about 10 to the left side. Again in the backfield for Warren Harding, the quarterback, Harley Keller, the running back, that man right there, Woody Perez, across the 30 up to the 34-yard line. Back will spot his knee down at the 33, a 6-yard pickup for Woody Perez. And Joe Cutie, the right side cornerback, along with the right outside linebacker, Dennis Petrosky, teaming up on the tackle for the Howland Tigers. Second down, 4 yards to go for the Warren Harding first down. Arnold will come to the right side. Ball carrier again, Perez, and Willie Perez going to be hammered way back at the 30-yard line. They'll give him forward progress on the 32, but a loss of at least 1 yard on the play for Willie Perez. That will set up third down along 5 yards to go for the Panthers.
Now Perez just couldn't get through there, and fine defensive effort here. We'll see it. There he tries to get the second effort, but is ridden down for the loss of a yard. And it was Jim Edwards who came up and stopped Perez as he tried to get free.
Panthers 0 for 5 in third down conversion attempts in the first half. Third and 5. Colorado pressure, going to be sacked. Way back at the 21-yard line. And again, number 31, Jimmy Edwards, leading the charge for the Howland defense.
Boy, what a great defensive effort Howland has had here. Keller's not been able to do much of anything in the passing department because of the fine rush by the Tigers here. We'll see it. And just no chance for Keller to even look for his receivers as he was dodging bullets from the very start.
Brian Osborne also providing pressure for Howland as John Church to do the booting from his own 10-yard line. 6.5 minutes remaining third quarter. Church under a little bit of a rush. High end-over-end kick will hit at the 50, take a Panther roll inside the 45, and be down at the Howland 39-yard line. 39-yard boot by John Church. No return for the Howland Tigers, and on the exchange of punts, Howland loses about 6 yards. Tigers will have it first and 10. 6:35 remaining here in the third quarter.
Boy, the punters earning their keep here tonight. And the ball just keeps exchanging hands. The fact that we only have 7 first downs in this game tells you something.
4 punts by each punter. Davis to open things up. Going to run with the football. He's going to be hit from behind as he crosses the 40 up to the 41-yard line. Pursuit on the part of Warren Harding. Number 36 that time, making the defensive play, Derek Galladay from his defensive right end position. Pickup of only 2 by Timmy Davis. Second down, 8 yards to go for the Howland Tigers. Galladay, by the way, spelling an injured number 32, George Riddle, for Warren Harding. Second and 8 from their own 41-yard line. Man in motion, Davis again to throw. Davis firing the football as a man complete into Panther territory at the Warren Harding 49-yard line. Pickup of 9 on the play. That'll be good enough for the 4th first down of the ball game for the Howland Tigers. On the receiving end that time, number 35 for Howland, Sean Lutz, 148-pound junior. First down, 10 yards to go, and again we get into the field position aspect that was so important in the first half. Ceto has a couple of blockers, gets down to the Panther 47-yard line, a pickup of 2 on the play. Second down, 8 yards to go for the Howland Tigers. That time plugging the gap for Warren Harding, defensive left tackle number 75, Travis Davis, 250-pound senior. 5 minutes, 14 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. The Panthers leading 3-0, but again, Howland in Warren Harding territory. Movement on the part of Warren Harding. That'll cost the Panthers 5 and move it down to about the 42.5-yard line. Unless Warren Harding was pulled off on the play. Let's see. Nope, no such luck for Warren Harding fans. 5-yard infraction will set up a second and about 3 to go for the Howland first down.
Now chalk up 55 yards in penalties now against the Panthers. And again, they've been costly. They've had the long penalties offensively that have kept them in a hole, and now this one gives Howland a pretty good shot at getting a first down.
Looks to the right side. Ball carrier for maybe a yard down to the 42-yard line. That time, Jimmy Edwards carrying the ball for the first time. That will set up third down and about 3 yards to go for the Howland Tigers.
Now Edwards now becomes the 6th rusher of the game for Howland, and we mentioned that balanced running attack. The problem is with Howland tonight, the balance has been on the low side because their leading rusher, Corbusello, has just 23 yards and 6 carries.
Lutz this time to the left side. Third down, about 2 yards to go for Howland. Almost movement on the offensive line. Counter play to Corbusello, does not pull the Panther defense. Back at the 44-yard line, again number 75, Travis Davis, in on the stop for Warren Harding. And that will set up a fourth down punting situation for the Howland Tigers. .3:10 remaining third quarter. Classic defensive struggle between Warren Harding and Howland. Dennis Petrosky for the 5th time in the ball game to do the booting, this time from his own 44-yard line. Panthers with a little bit of pressure, but a high spiraling kick will be taken by Perez at the 15-20. Perez at the outside of the 30. Perez 35. Perez 40. Perez out of bounds at the Warren Harding 44-yard line. Gambling Willie Perez. That time the gamble paid off for the Panthers.
Well, ever since that long punt return for a touchdown against the Massillon Tigers, Willie Perez has picked up some confidence in terms of his punt returns. Here we saw a situation, and here is the punt. It's a high punt, one that should have been covered well. And Perez gambles. He's in between 2 Howland people and manages to outrun one of them and breaks a tackle there and gets a fine punt return once again. Willie Perez.
27-yard punt, 28-yard return by Perez. Harley Keller going to run with the football, gets across the line of scrimmage up to about the 48-yard line. 3-yard pickup on the play, and number 24 from his linebacking position, Dennis Petrosky, one more time for the Howland defense. second down, 7 yards to go for Warren Harding with 2 minutes, 25 seconds remaining third quarter. And the only score that we've had in the ball game occurred way back on the first drive of the contest when Teddy Bartholomew split the uprights on a 28-yard field goal attempt. Panthers in the I formation. Caldwell, no, that's Reuben Osborne into the ball game for the first time. Crosses the 50 and moves down to the Howland 48-yard line. Reuben shaken up last week against Massillon, seeing his first action of the ball game. Pickup of 3 on the play, third down. And about 4 yards to go for the Warren Harding first down.
Panthers with some operating room here in a third and short situation. Be an interesting call.
Arnold will split to the right side. Stanley on to the left side for Warren Harding. Ball carrier Perez trying to get outside, does get outside, picks up a first down inside the 45, inside the 40, out of bounds at about the 37-yard line of the Howland Tigers. And look out, a little bit of flare of tempers on the far sideline, but fortunately cooler heads prevailing. And I don't know if there's a flag on the play or not.
Didn't see one drop. It'd be a logical time to do that, but fortunately the officials were right there to break it up. Chuck Maloney and Willie Perez mixing it up just a little bit.
11-yard pickup for Perez. First down for Warren Harding. Their 5th of the ball game. It comes with 1 minute, 24 seconds remaining third quarter. Murray splits to the left side. Arnold flanked to the right side. In the eye, Alan Caldwell inside the 35, fights his way down to the 31-yard line of the Howland Tigers. Five-yard pickup on the play, 2nd and 5 for Warren Harding as we approach 1 minute remaining quarter number 3.
Caldwell now with 42 yards rushing, 7 carries. He's averaging 6 yards per carry. He's been about the only one that's been effective, although Willie Perez now is up to 38 yards and 9 carries.
2nd and 5 from the Howland 32-yard line. Keller, screen to Arnold, 30, 25, 20, 15, down to about the 11-yard line. Wide receiver screen pass is what it amounted to from Harley Keller to Dave Arnold, and it picked up big yardage for the Panthers. Pickup of 21 on the play, and Warren Harding with their best sustained offensive drive of the ballgame.
That's the old play you used to see in the pros with Bob Hayes, Dallas Cowboys using it, where they just throw the ball to the split end and let him do the work. And Dave Arnold showed what he can do, picking up big yardage and putting the Panthers in great position now.
Third reception of the ballgame for Dave Arnold. Perez going to be hit right at the 10-yard line. 1-yard pickup on the play, 2nd down, 9 yards to go for the Warren Harding first down, 10 yards to go for the TD. Down to 10 seconds remaining third quarter. That probably is the last play of the third quarter. Down to 5 seconds. And there is the whistle indicating the end of the third quarter. After 3 at Mollenkopf Stadium, the score remains Warren Harding Panthers 3, the Howland Tigers nothing. And we'll be back with fourth quarter action for you. But first, we're going to pause for this message.
We're back at Mollenkopf Stadium. There you see the score, 3-0. It hasn't budged much, has it? It hasn't, because it's 9:34 in the first quarter is when the Panthers got on the board, and it was 3-0, and that's been it. But it's been a great defensive struggle. It's kind of like watching in baseball, if you can equate it, a great pitcher's duel, because it's been an exciting game to watch, and yet there haven't been a whole lot of points put on the board. There you see Frank Thomas, the head mentor of the Panthers. Panthers now threatening on the Tigers, but both defenses have been equal to scoring threat so far tonight. Cap?
2nd down, 9 yards to go for Warren Harding from their own, from the Howland 10-yard line. Keller to throw. Keller looking, pump fake, ball slipped out of his hand. That'll be an incompleted pass. He's looking for Dave Arnold on the near sideline, but had the arm in motion. The ball squirted free for the incompletion. 3rd down, 9 yards to go for the Panthers.
Well, third quarter stats, total yards, the Panthers with 172 to Howland's 107. It's been pretty equal. The Panthers 43 yards passing to Howland's 35. time of possession is still pretty even. Howland with 18-16 in the game. Warren Harding was 17-44.
Third down, 9 yards to go, and on the sideline, Teddy Bartholomew getting warmed up. Harley Culler looking, firing into the end zone. Good defensive effort by Danny Corbusello. That's right on the mark to Dave Arnold, but Corbusello getting a hand in there and batting away 6 points for Warren Harding.
Boy, you're right. It was Corbusello coming in there and saving the touchdown, and David Arnold was right there. Here you'll see it. And Corbusello sneaks in from behind. There's advantages being a little bit shorter as he was able to get in underneath the arm of David Arnold and bat the ball away.
Bartholomew to attempt his third field goal of the ball game, this time a 27-yarder. Keller to do the holding from the Howland 17-yard line. Ball is down, flags all over the place. The kick is...
It's not going to even
doesn't make
matter.
any difference. Play was blown dead. Procedure penalty against Warren Harding will cost the Panthers 5. 60 yards against Warren Harding in penalties thus far tonight. And most of them have come in very crucial spots for Warren Harding. Not that a penalty is never crucial, but they've hurt the Panthers.
Oh, they really have. I think more than any other game we've seen the Panthers play so far this year. They've just come at very bad times. And this being a good example because it moves it back further in terms of the field goal.
32-yard attempt now by Bartholomew. Ball is down. Kick is in the air. The kick is good. So Teddy Bartholomew has accounted for all 6 points in the ball game. Field goal in the first quarter. And here with 11:38 remaining in the ball game, Bartholomew good from 32 yards out. The Panthers lead 6-0.
Well, it's been the foot of Bartholomew that has gotten the Panthers on the board twice. There you see it's 6-0. And the way both defenses have been playing, every point important in this one. So that was a big field goal there for Warren Harding.
11 minutes, 38 seconds remaining, fourth and final quarter. Bartholomew to do the kicking off honors for the Panthers. And the deep man, Danny Corbusello, for Howland back at his own 10-yard line. Bartholomew's kickoff line drive kick that Corbusello will field at his own 12, 15, 20, 25, up to the 27-yard line. 15-yard return of the kickoff by Danny Corbusello, and the Howland Tigers, who have had trouble sustaining any offensive drive this evening against the tough Panther defense, will have it now trailing by a score of 6-0.
Just 54 yards rushing for Howland so far tonight. And this drive here would take 74 yards to get it in the end zone, so they need to put something together. That Harding drive for the field goal, 8 plays, 55 yards in 3:07.
Ball carrier for nothing. Right at the line of scrimmage is Danny, I believe that's Danny Corbusello. We'll wait for them to launch sack. But he ran right into the big arms of number 75, Travis Davis. Also John Church in on the stop from his left side linebacking position. Second down. And still, give him a yard on the play. Call it second down, 9 yards to go for Howland. Cavalcanti this time splitting 15 to the left side. Bedic in motion. Davis looking. Davis firing. Incomplete. Intended receiver. Kim Cavalcanti up at the 38-yard line. With the incompleted pass will set up third down and about 9 yards to go for Howland. About their own 28-yard stretch.
Timmy Davis does that better than most quarterbacks. He'll roll to the opposite throwing side. In other words, that time he rolled to the left and threw with the right hand. And he gets pretty much, he gets a lot out of his pass. And in that particular case, just barely overthrew the receiver.
This time, Sean Lutz splitting about 15 to the left side. Bedic again in motion. Draw play, running room, Corbusello, 30. That's the first down, 35, 40, up to the 42-yard line. 16-yard pickup for Danny Corbusello, and first down wise, number 5 for the Howland Tigers. 10 minutes, 22 seconds remaining in the ballgame.
Boy, the Panthers were guessing pass. It was a perfect call because Corbusello had the opening and took advantage of it and picks up, as you mentioned, Cap, the 5th first down. It was the 3rd first down rushing for the Tigers. And with 10 minutes remaining now in the ballgame, this drive becomes very important.
Vince Galladay making the stop for Warren Hutting. 1st and 10 for Howland. Corbusello in motion this time. Davis to throw, rolling right, firing into the flat, intended for Corbusello, incomplete, and almost picked off at the 50-yard line by Hardy Cullen. Galladay got a hand on it. 2nd down, 10 yards to go for Howland.
That came dangerously close as far as the Tigers are concerned, because on the rebound, it was almost Keller. Let's take a look. Rolling right, fires a bullet off of Corbusello, and then Keller almost got the rebound.
2nd down, 10 yards to go for the Tigers with 9 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in the ball game, trailing 6-0. Lutz will split to the near side, and again you see number 1 Corbusello in motion. Draw play, running room across the 45 up to about the 48-yard line. See who carried it that time. That's Mendenhall. No, that's Dave Bedich.
Right.
Bedich with the carry, a pickup of 6, 3rd down, a short 4 yards to go for the Howland Tigers. Tigers only 1 out of 6 on 3rd down conversion attempts in the ballgame. Checks out mathematically because Petrosky's punted 5 times. 9 minutes, 15 seconds remaining, 4th quarter. Again, the wing tee in the backfield. Davis getting pressure, blindsided, loses the football. Loose football recovered by Warren Hutting at the Howland 33-yard line. And again, the Panther defense comes up with a big play for Warren Hutting, recovering the loose football for the Panthers. I think it's Travis Davis, number 75.
That's who it was. Davis pounced on that football, did a great job of recovering the fumble. Here we see the rush. He gets sandwiched, and the ball pops loose, almost hits Viccarell. And the ball recovered by Davis, and a big break for the Panthers as Howland was moving the ball pretty well there.
8:45 remaining in the ball game. The Panthers now in control, leading 6-0. Caldwell in motion. Screen pass, right side. Arnold 30, Arnold 25, Arnold 20, Arnold down to about the 15-yard line of the Howland Tigers. You get that man clear, he is tough to bring down. 1st down, number 6 for Warren Hutting. A pickup that time of 18 yards. 4th pass reception of the ball game for Dave Arnold. And one more score here by Warren Hutting will definitely put the Howland Tigers in pretty bad shape.
Well, the way the Panthers have been playing defense, that's really true.
Caldwell, the man in motion. Color goes to the near side. Stanley Owens, 10. Owens down to the 9-yard line. 2 flat passes have produced big yardage for Warren Hutting. That time a pickup of 7 on the play. 2nd down, 3 yards to go for the Panther 1st down. That was number 81 being helped out to the sidelines. Defensive left end Eric Martin for Howland. But Harley Keller is starting to show the passing ability that he displayed in preseason, but been pretty much kept under wraps up to this point. 2nd and 3, again to the air, goes to the right side. Arnold has blockers. Arnold 5. Dave Arnold for the touchdown. Excellent drive by Warren Hutting, the TD. Coming with 7 minutes, 31 seconds remaining in the ball game, and the Panthers now lead by a score of 12-0.
Boy, there's no secret about what the Panthers have been doing here. Throwing the flat pass to the split end, nothing tricky as Arnold just displays his burst of speed, gets into the end zone, and a big touchdown there for the Panthers, the 1st touchdown of this contest. And Warren Hutting definitely discovering the secret there as Howland has been coming in, pinching towards the middle, but they've been leaving the ends wide open, and Panthers exploiting that extremely well in this drive.
Bartholomew on the extra point attempt. The kick is in the air, and the kick is good. 7 minutes, 31 seconds remaining, 4th and final quarter. The score. Warren Hutting 13, the Howland Tigers nothing.
Well, that drive, 3 plays, 33 yards, and 1:26 time elapsed. And Warren Harding getting the big break and forcing the big break as they really busted Tim Davis and got the ball on the fumble in good field position at the 33. And then it was 3 passes, boom, boom, boom. Arnold, Owens, and Arnold, and into the end zone they went.
7 minutes, 31 seconds remaining in the contest. Still plenty of time for Howland, but the way that the Warren Harding defense has played this week and again last week against the Massillon Tigers, that could be a tough task for anybody. Bartholomew on the kickout. Somebody offside for the Panthers. Ceto picks it up at the 15, 20, 25, 30. We're up to the 35-yard line. Excellent return by Danny Corbusato of 22 yards. So the Tigers will have it. First down, 10 yards to go at their 35-yard line. Somebody was offside on the kickoff unit for the Panthers, but there was no flag on the play. 13-0. Warren Harding with the lead. And the Howland offense definitely with their backs to the wall. Bedich in motion. Davis to put it up. Timmy Davis fires over the middle, incomplete. Intended receiver Sean Lutz up at the 45-yard line, but the pass underthrown for the incompletion. Second down, 10 yards to go for Howland.
Tigers now 3 of 8 in the air for a total of 32 yards. But Davis certainly a capable quarterback, and now definitely in passing situations every time he has the ball. Of course, Harding will be gambling on that too, and you might think that they'll be rushing pretty hard, but also playing for the pickoff on the pass.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Davis looks for the screen pass left side, has a man, and he breaks one tackle, gets up to the 30, but it's going to rise off at about a 4-yard line, but a flag on the play. -4 on the screen pass to Dave Bedich. But again, a flag right where Bedich went down at the 31-yard line of Howland. Let's see what it is. They're talking to John Church, and that's an indication that it'll go against the Howland Tigers.
The screen was slow in developing, so man, I don't know whether that had anything to do with it or not, whether it was a holding call or, yeah, there was a clipping call against Howland, and it's been declined. Here we'll have a chance to see the screen. It's very slow in developing because of the big rush put on by the Panthers. And we may be able to catch the clip. There it was, right near the tail end of the play. And a good call, but declined by the Panthers because of the loss of yardage.
3rd and 15 for the Howland Tigers. 6:35 remaining fourth quarter. Encroachment against Warren Harding. 5-yard mark-off will move it up to the 36-yard line and set up a 3rd and about 9. Now 35-yard line, 3rd down, 10 yards to go for Howland. Tigers have to get something going here. They're down by 13-0 score. Next week, the Howland Tigers will take on the Boardman Spartans. And Warren Harding will go down to Youngstown Stadium to take on the Cardinal Mooney Cardinals.
That should be quite a game.
3rd down, 10 yards to go. Corbusato, the man in motion. Davis will put it up. Davis looking. Now he's going to run with the football. It's going to get him about a yard on the play up to the 36-yard line. That'll set up a 4th down situation. Number 78 for the Warren Harding defense. Sophomore defensive tackle Dan Fenton, 190-pounder, coming up with a big play for Warren Harding. 4th and 9 and 5:30 remaining in the ball game. Dennis Petrosky on to what appears to be do the booting for the Howland Tigers. And there you see Willie Perez back at his own 20. He's had one excellent punt return this evening. Harvey Keller now going back to join him. Petrosky going to put it up. End over end kick, short kick, hitting at the 45, taking a Howland roll inside the 40, inside the 35, and it'll be down at the Warren Harding 34-yard line. 31-yard punt by Dennis Petrosky, no return on the part of Warren Harding. Now the Panthers 5 minutes, 5 seconds away from their third victory of the 1982 campaign. You look at Frank Thomas's younger brother, Chucky Thomas, on the near sideline.
Chuck, a fine football player in his day in the early 70s, played some defensive back and quarterback for the Panthers.
Well, look for Warren Harding to put the ball on the ground, keep it on the ground, kill as much of that clock as possible. Willie Perez across the 35 up to the 39-yard line. 5-yard pickup on the part of the senior running back for Warren Harding. Chuck Maloney, number 47, right side linebacker, making the stop.
Panthers will be content to keep the ball on the ground, no question about that. As the clock continues to tick, if they pick up a couple of first downs there, it's all over.
A new quarterback in for Warren Harding for the first time that we've seen him. Number 14, Tony Wade, 175 junior. So Hardy Keller getting a break. High formation in the backfield. New tailback also, that's Vince Galladay. Galladay picked up a grand total of a yard on the play, third down, 4 yards to go for Warren Harding. Galladay, of course, the man who received the opening kickoff of the ball game and rambled 61 yards down the far sideline. And Vince Galladay might be having a cramp problem out there. Right at the 40 is Gerald Rischel, one of the premier trainers in the area go out. He and Lauren Les for Warren Western Reserve really do quite a job for their respective high schools. You know, that's the function area that many people overlook.
It is. It's a function that they overlook, and but it's becoming a popular field because a lot of colleges now into sports medicine, and a lot of people are getting interested in it. No question about it. And it's become more sophisticated, and injuries now, I think, that would have sidelined people back when we were going through it all are now they're playing with a lot more pain. So more sophisticated techniques by the trainers, I'm sure. Not to mention the equipment.
No longer shove the swollen ankle into the bucket of ice and hope the swelling goes down.
Right.
A little more sophisticated than that as Galladay comes to the near sideline.
Well, what people don't see is the amount of tape and taping that goes on prior to a contest, and you really have to sympathize with the trainers and their staffs. They're really unheralded, as you mentioned, and they do a lot of the work and get these teams ready to play.
Third down for Warren Harding, 4 yards to go from their own 40-yard line. 3 minutes, 33 seconds remaining fourth quarter. Alan Caldwell in motion. Tony Wade gives the ball. Running room, 40, has a first down, 45 up to the 47-yard line. New ball carrier in there for Warren Harding. No, that's Kenny Ash. Kenneth Ash with an excellent run. Pickup of 7. First down for the Panthers. Their 8th of the ball game, and that should about do it. 3 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the contest, and barring a turnover right here, the Panthers will go 3-1 on the 1984 campaign and open up Still Valley Conference play with a 13-0 victory over the Howland Tigers. High in the backfield. Ball carrier Galladay back in there. Gets up to the 50. Ball taken away by Jimmy Edwards, but the play had been blown dead. Boy, that brought the palpitations of the heart on the part of some Panther fans.
Boy, isn't that the truth? That was very close. The whistle wasn't, it appeared to be the right call, though. The whistle blew the play dead.
Edwards off to the races, but the whistle had blown. 2nd and 7 for Warren Harding. 2 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in this one.
Of course, ball hawking becomes very common in this late in the game and down 13 points, so it becomes the ball carrier's responsibility to protect that thing at all costs.
Stanley Owen will split to the right side. Teddy Bartholomew to the near side. Second down, 7 flag, delay of game, infraction against Warren Harding.
That's not all bad, though. The Panthers trying to run the clock down. And with 2:04 remaining in the contest, expending the time limit, getting the play off.
Second down, 12 yards to go for Warren Harding. Tony Wade and Harley Keller really had a spirited competition going on for that #1 quarterback spot for Warren Harding back in the preseason. Wade with an excellent throwing arm. I don't know if we'll see it here this evening. Flag on the play across the 35 or 45 up to the 49-yard line. Carrying the football for the first time, Robert Brown, 185-pound junior. But again, a flag on the play.
It's going to be, excuse me, Cap, a legal procedure, the preliminary indication against the Panthers, and it was dead ball anyway. The play wouldn't have counted, so I would suspect that Howland will take the penalty. The down would be important for him, but I don't think they have that option.
Another 5-yard mark off against Warren Harding. We'll move it back to the 40-yard line. Freddie Victorell giving the indication. Second down, 17 yards to go with exactly 2 minutes remaining, fourth and final quarter. Wade again to Brown, 40, 45. Brown almost broke it to the outside. Gets up to the 47-yard line, a pickup of 7 on the play, but I tell you, shoestring tackle on the part of one of the Howland defenders as Howland will stop the clock. Man shaken up for the Tigers. There you see him. Shoestring tackle prevented Robert Brown from breaking off a long gainer.
Ooh, that'd be a tough loss. That's Joe Feudy that's down. Hopefully he's okay. It looks like he's in some leg pain. If it's a cramp, they'd be better off than if it's an ankle, that's for sure. Feudy going both ways for the Tigers.
170-pound senior Joe Feudy. Coming into this ball game, Feudy averaging 4.3 yards per carry out of his fullback spot. In fact, the other two running backs for Howland, Dave Bedich averaging 4.5 and Danny Corbusello 4.6, but the Warren Harding defense really showing the strength that well, they initially began showing in the season opener and really came up with a big performance last week against the Massillon Tigers. And again, very impressive here this evening.
Well, Feudy carried the ball just 3 times tonight for 9 yards. And the leading rusher for Howland, Dan Corbusello, 36 yards in 8 carries.
Feudy still being attended to.
There you see some of the Panther faithful.
Mentioned the fact that tomorrow night we'll be down at Bo Ryan Memorial Stadium. Game between Warren Western Reserve. Feudy, good sign there for Joe Feudy. Going off the field under his own power. Looks like it might have been a cramp problem. Game between Warren Western Reserve and Niles McKinley tomorrow evening. Situation here, minute 33 remaining in the ball game. Warren Harding leading Howland 13-0. Panthers have it 3rd and 10 at their own 47-yard line. Junior quarterback Tony Wade. Again to Brown. Brown up to the 50, but no more. Robert Brown looking impressive here this evening. Mentioned the fact he goes 185 pounds as Howland will expend their first time out of the second half.
There's some Pilot 9 fans there in the form of Harding football players.
That's my boy right here.
Reuben Osborne and Alan Caldwell. Fourth down for the Panthers right at the 50-yard line. 6 yards to go. See if Frankie Thomas goes for the punter tries to kill some more of that clock. Minute 15 remaining in the ball game.
Yeah, probably not a bad idea to punt it away here. Here you see the story. 13-0 Panthers. It's been a hard-fought victory for them.
Might be able to hear the Air Force Reserves and their nighttime maneuvering.
Thought we were being invaded there for a minute.
Panthers will punt. John Church under a big rush gets the kick away. Floating kick hitting at the 30. And will be down at the 31-yard line of the Howland Tigers. 20-yard punt by John Church. No return. First down, 10 yards to go for the Tigers. 1 minute, 8 seconds remaining. And the Tigers need 2 quick scores to pull this one out.
Stranger things have happened, but just the way the Panther defense has played, it's been pretty tough to move on them, let alone score. Now Tim Davis a little slow getting onto the field, but now that he's there, I think we're about ready to get going here. Or did somebody call a timeout?
On the far sideline, they're having a little bit of a chain problem. That's the reason that the clock has not resumed.
Gee, I hope we don't have another 20-minute delay like we did the other night with an official's call.
And we had one for quite a while with the same officiating crew back at Miles in the season opener.
That's right, when the lights went out. The party was not over, though. It was,
it was only half time.
That was the Hubbard-Niles game, right?
Yep. Some of the jubilant Panther fans on the near sideline. Their team exactly 1 minute right now away from their third victory of the current campaign. Howland with Timmy Davis. Firing out of bounds. Big pressure applied on Davis again by number 78 for the Panther defense, Danny Fenton. Also in there for Warren Hutting. Jim D'Annunzio, number 50, defensive right side end. Second down, 10 yards to go for Howland. The incompleted pass stopping the clock with just 49 seconds remaining, fourth and final quarter.
That's a happy Panther bench, huh?
Jeff Gaskill, 10th grader, number 70. Second and 10 for the Howland Tigers. Panther defense just simply awesome here this evening. Davis firing, pass complete, lateraled off up to the 40 to the 42-yard line. Initially complete to Sean Lutz. Dave Bettich came up to get the lateral on the near sideline. It will go as an 11-yard completion on the play and a first down for the Tigers. Howland trying some razzle-dazzle here in the waning moments of the ball game. Their 7th first down of the ball game. Davis looking. Davis going for the bomb over the middle. Incomplete and a flag on the play. But a pass interference against Warren Hutting. Back at the Panther 35-yard line, Dave Bettich, the intended receiver on the play. And they're going to mark out 15 yards and put the ball at about the Warren Hutting 42-yard line.
Well, once again, not a very smart penalty there by the Panthers. That's going to be 90 yards now in penalties marked off against Warren Harding. So while it's a big victory for the Panthers and a fine defensive effort, the fact that they had 90 yards in penalties marked off is something I think Frank Thomas will be concerned about in preparing for the next ball game.
31 seconds remaining in the contest. First down via the penalty route, the first of the ball game for Howland. And overall, their 8th first down of the contest. Davis again looking, firing, incomplete at the 30-yard line. Sean Lutz, the intended receiver. Incompleted pass will stop the clock with 27 seconds remaining. Nice turnout this evening on one of the most beautiful nights for football that we've had at this stage of the season for quite a long time. That ball game next week, as you mentioned here, Patus, between Warren Harding and Youngstown Cardinal Mooney should really be at Barnbrook.
Well, the Steel Valley will be heating up, that's for sure.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Timmy Davis looking. Timmy Davis rolling. Timmy Davis going to ramble with the football inside the 40 down to the 35 and knocked out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. 8-yard pickup on the play. Going out of bounds will stop the clock with 19 ticks remaining. Dimitri Leogas. Say a couple of words to him?
He spoke English. I was expecting a little Greek out of that.
Third down, 2 yards to go for the Howland Tigers. Ceto in motion. Junior quarterback Timmy Davis getting excellent protection. He'll fire on the down and in pattern. Pass incomplete. Lutz, the intended receiver, at the 27-yard line, and that'll set up fourth down. Again, 3 yards. Make it a long 2 yards to go for the Howland Tigers with just 14 seconds remaining in the ball game.
Well, as usual, the Tigers find themselves in Panther territory, but can't get beyond, well, in this case, the 35. They've been unable to get the ball even close enough for the field goal, although they've enjoyed decent field position. But I have to give that Panther defense a lot of the credit. They have been playing inspired football.
Davis to throw. Davis looking. Going for the ball. Intercepted. 13, 15, 20, 25. Chuck Harris to the 30. Chuck Harris to the 42-yard line of Warren Harding. And a fitting way to end the ball game for the Panthers. Intercepted pass by the defense with 1 second remaining, fourth and final quarter.
That's just the first intercepted pass of the game for either team. As Davis put it up 14 times for Howland, completing just 5. And the Warren Harding Panthers with 6 receptions on 9 attempts. And there's the ball game.
Final score, the Warren Harding Panthers now 3-1 on the 1984 campaign, upending the Howland Tigers by a final score of 13-0. And we'll be back to tell you how it happened. But first, we're going to pause for this message.
I understand he killed all 3 of them.
Yes, he did.
They were too young to die. Yeah, I've seen the stereo stores work before. They never explain how to take care of the equipment when they sell it.
This tragedy could have been prevented if he'd had equipment care products like these by Audio Technica. Custom Sound Company also offers extended warranty protection plans to avert untimely stereo and video failure. This didn't have to happen. Don't let it happen to you. Visit any Custom Sound Company location nearest you. That special store in Cortland has special apparel for women and children.
Hi, my name's Gwen Bollinger, and I'd like to invite you to Linville's, that special shop in Cortland. We're new when it comes to our new owner, Lee Statler. She has new, fresh, creative ideas, but we're all the same when it comes to dressing you and your children in new fall fashion. With friendly atmosphere, personal help, and quality at affordable prices. So come see me, Gwen Bollinger, at Linville's, that special shop in Cortland.
That special store in Cortland, 261 West Main Street, Cortland.
It seems like everyone's offering 24-hour banking these days. I have a Dollar Bank ATM card because it's the most convenient. Dollar was the first to offer this service to the Valley. Experience. I can use my card at any MoneyNet location. Versatility. And Dollar ATMs are located throughout the Valley, even in my office building. That's convenience. Add it up for yourself. 24-hour banking is convenient when you do it at Dollar Bank.
TV in Trumbull County is Pilot 9.
Back here at Mollenkoff Stadium, John Caparenis, Harry Paytas, Bob Church, Pilot 9 remote staff. We've just seen the Warren Harding Panthers upend the Howland Tigers 13-0, and a game that really featured the defenses of both ball clubs. We get to the final stats, that'll point that fact out, but right now let's go through the scoring for you. Opening kickoff of the ball game, Vince Galladay took the ball at his own 15-yard line, rambled all the way down to the 35-yard line of the Howland Tigers. On the first offensive play, Alan Caldwell swept right in for 20 yards. That moved it down to the 15-yard stripe of Howland, but that's where the Warren Harding drive petered out. Howland's defense rising to the occasion, and it brought on Teddy Bartholomew. And Bartholomew, on a 28-yard field goal attempt, split the uprights with 9:34 remaining first quarter. That made the score 3-0 in favor of the Panthers, and that's the way the first quarter wound up. That's the way the second quarter wound up. That's the way the third quarter wound up. And the next score we had, again, was on the foot of Teddy Bartholomew. That occurred with 11:38 remaining in the fourth quarter when Bartholomew again on for a field goal attempt, this time a 32-yard field goal attempt, again splitting the uprights. That made it 6-0 in favor of the Panthers. And then Warren Harding came right back after a fumble recovery by Travis Davis at the Howland 33-yard line. 3 plays later, 33 yards later, Dave Arnold on the receiving end of a 9-yard pass on quarterback Harley Keller. That score came with 7:31 remaining in the ball game. Bartholomew converted, and for all intents and purposes, that was the ball game. And Joe Sabat really having quite a time down on the field this evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody wants to be a movie star, huh?
At any rate, that was about it. 13-0, the final. Warren Harding with an excellent defensive showing for the second consecutive week. Joe's not wearing his bag tonight. That must be the problem.
Joe's having his problems, isn't he?
A game featuring the defenses of both Warren Harding and the Howland Tigers. And Bob Church, you had to be impressed with the defensive effort by both the Tigers and the Panthers in tonight's ball game.
All right, Cap. Harding plays defense. You know, they played a good defensive ball game last week against Massillon. They come back and repeated the fact, you know, which we were kind of worrying about or thinking about. You know, after a big game against a big ball club like Massillon, it would be, you know, kind of easy to get down and forget about the rest of the season because they hadn't beat Massillon for a long time. Yet the defense is together. They play good ball, and they had to play good ball because the offense turned the ball over, and you know, Howland's offense moved the ball, but when Harding's defense was needed, they were there. As for Jack Pearson and his crew, they got nothing to be ashamed of. Can't score, you can't win, you know. And so they've got Boardman next week in what should be a good ball game, and Harding's got Cardinal Mooney in what could be another good ball game.
Offensively, the Panthers showing a little bit of flair in their touchdown drive that we hadn't seen before. The passing arm of Harley Keller, and in particular, the receiving of Dave Arnold.
Well, David's, like Terry said, an excellent athlete. He's a super talent. You love to have him on your baseball team, basketball team, or football team. And like you said during the ball game, Harley has been known to be a good passer. He was a good passer out at Southington. He was talked about, you know, beginning of the season as being, you know, an all-around ball player, throwing the ball, running the ball, and handing it off. And tonight you saw the arm of Harley Keller, and the offensive line did their job. They gave Harley enough time to get the ball to David. Once you get the ball in the hands of David Arnold, anything can break loose.
Harry Paytas, final statistics on tonight's ball game.
Okay, Cap, they were pretty close, really, indicative of the way the game went. Harding with 107 yards rushing, 77 passing for a total of 184 yards. Harley Keller with a nice passing night. He was 6 of 9 for those 77 yards. Howland, on the other hand, with 116 yards rushing, out-rushing the Panthers. 39 yards passing, total of 155 yards total offense. In the penalty department, this is where Frank Thomas has to be a bit concerned. His Panthers were penalized 9 times for 90 yards. Howland, on the other hand, penalized 2 times for 10 yards. First downs were even at 8 apiece. Time of possession went the Tigers' way with 25:44 the time occupied with the football, and 22:16 for the Panthers. Looking at some individual statistics quickly, it was Dan Corbusello picking up the most yardage for the Tigers, 36 yards in 8 carries. And the next best job was done by Dave Bedich, who had just 16 yards in 5 carries. On the Panther side of things, the rushing was Willie Perez leading the way with 44 yards and 11 carries, followed closely by Alan Caldwell, who turned in 42 yards in 7 carries. One of the big stories tonight was David Arnold, who pulled in a total of 5 passes for 69 yards, 69 of the 76 yards that the Panthers picked up in the air. So a fine game for the Panthers defensively. They got enough to win it offensively, and the Howland Tigers played the Panthers pretty tough, and it's indicative, I think, of the way the Steel Valley is going to go this year. Cap?
Well, that about wraps things up from Howland College Stadium in Warren, Ohio. Final score one more time, the Panthers 13, the Howland Tigers nothing. So speaking for our cameraman tonight, Joe Sabat, Mark Pinion, Mike Sophos, producer Mike Sophos, engineer Mike Sparacino, and the man putting it all together, Mike Sparacino out in the van. For my sidekick, Harry Patus, thanks to his comments and all the assistance he's given us, Bob Church, I'm John Caporanis, inviting you to have a good night, sports fans.
It's an old time kind